New fundraising totals show President Trump building a massive war chest for 2020. Today, his re-election effort announced a $105 million haul in the second quarter. The Trump campaign has $100 million of cash on hand. That money was raised by his campaign and the Republican National Committee. Those numbers are expected to blow past Mr. Trump's Democratic competition. Not every candidate has reported their numbers yet. So far, Mayor Pete Buttigieg is leading the pack. He's raised over $24 million in the last 3 months. That is less than a quarter of the president's sum. Kayleigh McEnany joins me now from the Trump campaign headquarters in Washington. She is National Press Secretary for the Trump 2020 campaign. Kayleigh, welcome. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Kayleigh, where are the bulk of Mr. Trump's donations coming from, and how much is the average donation?
Well, we routinely see that the vast majority of our donors are small donors. That's $200 or less. In Q1, that number was about, I think, 98% were small donations. The RNC likewise routinely sees 99% of their donations as small donors of $200 or less. We don't have an actual number for Q2 out yet, but our Q1s are emblematic of what we see each and every quarter. And this is unique to the Republican Party. The Republican Party hasn't always been the party of small donors. That changed under President Trump, who people forget outraised both Bernie and Hillary combined in small donations. That was a fact-check statement that was rated as true, and that was in the prior election. So he's changed our party to become one of everyday men and women.
So the bulk of your donations then, percentage-wise, are from small donors?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. Each and every quarter.
All right. So your campaign says it raised more online in the last 3 months than during the first half of 2018. How are you specifically targeting donors on the internet that has led to this type of success?
Well, there are a number of ways. We obviously have a very large digital strategy. Digital advertising is a big part of the Trump campaign strategy. We do, after all, have Brad Parscale at the top, who's a guru when it comes to digital advertising, and that brings in a lot of donations. Likewise, though, I would also note that the president's rallies, they're an energizing factor. He's out on the campaign trail. That brings in new men and women across the country who become our volunteers, who become our donors, who get excited about the Trump movement. This president really has been unique in the amount of money he's able to pull in and the amount of money from individuals, everyday hardworking men and women who open up their pocketbook and say they want to support the president.
Okay, great. Now, let me ask you about the president's July 4th speech on the National Mall. The Republican National Committee confirmed to the Washington Post that it is distributing some tickets for the event. That, of course, makes some people uneasy. Is the campaign at all involved in this event?
Look, I would refer you to the White House. That is an official event. I would have to talk to some of the heads here to find that out for you. But I would refer you to the White House because that is an official event and they are running point on this.
Do you know if the Trump campaign is paying for any parts of the event?
No, I'm unaware of that, not to my knowledge. But again, would refer you to the White House since it is an official event.
Well, so you can assure us that the campaign will not use the 4th of July event in any fundraising emails or campaign imagery.
I can assure you that we'll act within the legal limits of what we are allowed to do. It'll be within the legal limits, but beyond that, I can't confirm what will or will not be done in the aftermath of an event that is yet to occur.
Because, of course, the federal appropriations law prohibits using any public funds for political events, as you know, and the president does like to run off script sometimes. So do you imagine a future where the president may have to cut a check to the U.S. Treasury?
No, I don't imagine a future. The president acts within legal limits. We at the campaign act within legal limits. I can assure you we'll always act that way.
Okay, cool. I do want to discuss strategy. The Trump campaign is expanding its Latino outreach. In the past 2 weeks, Mr. Trump conducted his first presidential interview with Telemundo, and Vice President Mike Pence launched the Latinos for Trump coalition. How critical is the need to expand your base ahead of 2020?
Well, we're excited because it's organically happening. We're seeing, for instance, in New Mexico, Hispanic voters move toward President Trump. In that state, we consider now in play. And we are seeing, because of the Trump economy, we think in large part because of immigration, legal immigrants support a strong border. They came the right way. They want to see things done within the realm of law and order. We're seeing Hispanic men and women across the country come toward the president. And our Latino coalition, the size of it is, to us, just an indication of Latinos across the country supporting the president. This is a big outreach effort. There will be more coalitions to come. We haven't announced those yet, but the Latino one was our first one kicking off in Miami, and it was a big success.
All right. Now, it has been reported the Trump campaign is considering putting resources in Oregon. Your campaign has said before reliably blue states like New Mexico could be flipped this election. What evidence are you seeing that the president could win in either of those places?
Yeah, that has been reported, and we're not going to confirm exactly where our resources are, but I can confirm with you that in New Mexico, Nevada, and New Hampshire, we are seeing all of these states come toward the president, be in play. This is new territory the president came close in many cases, but didn't pull them off in the end in 2016, but we see them as viable states in play in 2020. So in addition to holding down the new Trump map, states that hadn't been won since the 80s that President Trump won, like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, we want to add to that. Those 3 states are some of them, and we'll see where the polling takes us in the future as the year and a half progresses.
All right. Well, Kayleigh McEnany, thank you so much for talking to us. We really appreciate your time.